Valley of Flowers National Park is an Indian national park located in West Himalaya, in the state of Uttarakhand, and is known for its meadows of endemic alpine flowers and the variety of flora. This richly diverse area is also home to rare and endangered animals, including the Asiatic black bear, snow leopard, musk deer, brown bear, red fox, and blue sheep. Birds found in the park include Himalayan monal pheasant and other high-altitude birds. At 3,352 to 3,658 meters above sea level, the gentle landscape of the Valley of Flowers National Park complements the rugged mountain wilderness of Nanda Devi National Park to the east. Together, they encompass a unique transition zone between the mountain ranges of the and Great Himalaya. The park stretches over an expanse of 87.50 square kilometers, and it is about 8 kilometers long and 2 kilometers wide. Both parks are encompassed in the Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve, which is further surrounded by a buffer zone. This reserve is in the UNESCO World Network of Biosphere Reserves since 2004. High-altitude valley. The Valley of Flowers is a high-altitude Himalayan valley that has long been acknowledged by renowned mountaineers, botanists, and in literature. It has been recognized internationally for over a century and is referenced in the Hindu religion. Local people have visited the valley since ancient times. Indian yogis are known to have visited the valley for meditation. The Valley of Flowers has many different colorful flowers, taking on various shades of colors as time progressed. The valley was declared a national park in 1982, and now it is a World Heritage Site. The Valley of Flowers has gained importance as a region containing a diversity of alpine flora, representative of the Western Himalayan alpine shrub and meadows ecoregion. The rich diversity of species reflects the valley's location within a transition zone between the Zanskar and Great Himalayas ranges to the north and south, respectively, and between the Eastern Himalaya and Western Himalaya flora. A number of plant species are considered threatened. Several have not been recorded outside of Uttarakhand. 2 have not been recorded in Nanda Devi National Park. The diversity of threatened species of medicinal plants is higher than has been recorded in other Indian Himalayan protected areas. The entire Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve lies within the Western Himalayas endemic bird area. The Valley of Flowers National Park is the second core zone of the Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve. 7 restricted range bird species are endemic to this part of the EBA. Location: State: Uttarakhand, India. District: Chamoli. Nearest town: Gangharia, after Joshimath. The Valley of Flowers is nestled in the upper expanses of Bandar Ganga near Joshimath in Garhwal region. The lower reaches of Bandar Ganga near Gobindhat are known as Bandar Valley. The Valley of Flowers is in the Pushpawati Valley, 23 kilometers north-northwest of Nanda Devi Park. It lies between 30 degrees 41 to 30 degrees 48 N and 79 degrees 33 to 79 degrees 46 E. The valley is 20 kilometers northwest of Nanda Devi National Park across the wide valley of the Bandar Ganga. It is one of 2 hanging valleys lying at the head of the Bandar Valley, the other being the shorter Hemkund Valley, which runs parallel some 10 kilometers south. It runs east-west approximately 15 kilometers by an average of 6 kilometers wide, in the basin of the Pushpawati River, a small tributary flowing from the Tipra Glacier which descends from Gauri Parbat in the east. The area lies on the Zanskar, a range of the Himalayas, with the highest point in the national park being Gauri Parbat at 6,719 meters above sea level. History: the place was little known to outside world due its inaccessibility. In 1931, Frank S. Smythe, Eric Shipton and R. L. Holdsworth, all British mountaineers, lost the way while returning from a successful expedition to Mount Kamet and happened upon the valley, which was full of flowers. They were attracted to the beauty of the area and named it the Valley of Flowers. Frank Smythe later authored a book of the same name. In 1939, Joan Margaret Legge, a botanist deputed by the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew, arrived at the valley to study flowers, and while traversing some rocky slopes to collect flowers, she slipped off and lost her life. Her sister later visited the valley and erected a memorial near the spot. Professor Chandra Prakash Kala, a botanist deputed by the Wildlife Institute of India, carried out a research study on the floristics and conservation of the valley for a decade. Beginning in 1993, he made an inventory of 520 alpine plants exclusively growing in this national park and authored two important books: The Valley of Flowers, Myth and Reality, and Ecology and Conservation of the Valley of Flowers National Park, Garhwal, Himalaya. Timeline 1862, the Pushpawati Valley was discovered by Col. Edmund Smith. 1931, the valley visited by the climber Frank S. Smythe, who wrote a book publicizing the Valley of Flowers. 1934, the Upper Nanda Devi Sanctuary was reached and described by mountaineers Eric Shipton and Amp Bill Tillman. 1936, mountaineers Bill Tillman and Amp Noel Odell climbed Nanda Devi. 1939, the basin established as the Nanda Devi Game Sanctuary by Government Order 1493, XIV 28 of 701. 1962, border disputes closed the area to traffic, altering the local economy. 1974–82, the sanctuary was opened to mountaineering, but the ensuing degradation led to its closure to all users. 1980, the park was established as Sanjay Gandhi National Park by notification 3912, 14.3.3580. Grazing and mountaineering stopped. 1980, the Valley of Flowers was declared a national park by Government Order 4278, XIV 36680 under the provisions of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. For the conservation of its flora, 1982, the park was renamed Nanda Devi National Park. 1988, the Nanda Devi National Biosphere Reserve established with the national park as core zone and a 514,857 hectares buffer area surrounding both sites. Restrictions were imposed on the rights of nearby villages. 2000, the Biosphere Reserve extended by the government to 586,069 hectares and the Valley of Flowers National Park was added as the second core zone. 2004, the two core zones and buffer zone designated a UNESCO MAB reserve. Management. The park is administered by the Uttarakhand State Forestry Department, the National Ministry of Environment and Forests, India. There is no settlement in the national park and grazing in the area has been banned since 1983. The park is open only during summer from June to October and it is covered by heavy snow for the rest of the year. Climate. Being an inner Himalayan valley, the Nanda Devi Basin has a distinctive microclimate. Conditions are generally dry with low annual precipitation, but there is heavy monsoon rainfall from late June to early September. Prevailing mist and low cloud during the monsoon keeps the soil moist, hence the vegetation is lusher than is usual in the drier inner Himalayan valleys. From mid-April to June temperatures are moderate to cool. The Valley of Flowers also has the microclimate of an enclosed inner Himalayan valley. and is shielded from the full impact of the southwest summer monsoon by the Greater Himalaya range to its south. There is often dense fog and rain, especially during the late summer monsoon. Both basin and valley are usually snowbound for 6 to 7 months between late October and late March, the snow accumulating deeper and at lower altitudes on the shadowed southern than on the northern side of the valleys. Trek. Getting to the Valley of Flowers requires a trek of about 17 kilometers. The nearest major town is Joshimath in Garhwal, which has convenient road connections from Haridwar and Dehradun, both about 270 kilometers from Joshimath. From Delhi, one can take the train to Haridwar and then travel by bus to Govindhat via Rishikesh. Govindhat is approximately 24 kilometers before another important destination of Badrinath. It is also possible to drive from Delhi to Govindhat, a distance of about 500 kilometers. Govindhat is a small place close to Joshimath, where the trek begins. From Govindhat, shared taxis up to 4 kilometers and then a trek of less than 11 kilometers brings trekkers to Gangaria, a small settlement located about 3 kilometers from the valley. One can also hire a porter mule or helicopter to reach Gangaria. The trek from Govindhat to Gangaria is common to the Sikh temple at Hemkund, and a trekker is likely to find many Sikh pilgrims on the route. As one nears Gangaria, one is greeted by fields of perfumed wildflowers, wild rose bushes and wild strawberries by the sides of the path. The visitors to Valley of Flowers need to get a permit from Forest Department at Gangaria, and the permit is valid for 3 days, and visiting and trekking is allowed only during daytime. As visitors are not allowed to stay inside the national park, accommodation can be obtained at Gangaria. Best time to visit is between late July and early September, when the valley is full of flowers, just after the outbreak of monsoon. Vegetation. The valley has 3 subalpine between 3,200 meters and 3,500 meters, which is the limit for trees. Lower alpine between 3,500 meters and 3,700 meters, and higher alpine above 3,700 meters. The habitats include valley bottom, riverbed, small forests, meadows, eroded, scrubby and stable slopes, moraine, plateau, bogs, stone desert and caves. The lower surrounding hills in the buffer zone are thickly forested. The Forest Research Institute in 1992 recorded 600 species of angiosperms and 30 pteridophytes in the valley and surroundings, discovering 58 new records for the valley, of which 4 were new for Himalayan state. Of these plants, 5 out of 6 species globally threatened are not found in Nanda Devi National Park or elsewhere in Uttarakhand. Aconitum falconeri, A. balfouri, Himalayan maple, the blue Himalayan poppy and Sausuria atkinsoni. Kala classified 31 species of rare and endangered categories within the national park in 1998. Further, his studies report that the dominant family in Valley of Flowers is Asteraceae with 62 species. 45 medicinal plants are used by local villages, and several species, such as Sausuria obvulata, are collected as religious offerings to goddesses Nanda Devi and Sun Nanda Devi. The site is designated a center of plant diversity. Characteristic of the subalpine zone are high-altitude forests which help to retain moisture and snow and support a large number of floral and faunal communities. It is dominated by the uncommon Himalayan maple Acacium, West Himalayan fir Abies pindro, Himalayan white birch Betula utilis, and rhododendron campanulatum with Himalayan Eutaxis wallaceiana, Syringa ramodi and Sorbus lineata. Some of the common herbs are Aracema jacomonti, Bosniacia himalaica, Corydalus cashmeriana, Palemonium caerulilium, Polygonum polystachyrum, Impatiens sulcata, Geranium wallachianum, Gallium aperine, Marina longifolia, Annular grandiflora, Nomicorus occipitala, Anemone rivularis, Pedicularis pectinata, Piba cornuta, Primula denticulate, Trilidium govinianum. In trampled areas where past livestock congregated, Himalayan knotweed Polygonum polystachyrum is a rampant weed. Fauna: the density of wild animals in the valley is not high, but all the animals found are rare or endangered. A total 13 species of mammals are recorded for the park by C.P. Kala and its vicinity, although only he cited 9 species directly. Northern Plains grey langur Semnopithecus entellus, flying squirrel Petorista petorista, Himalayan black bear Ursista betanus, red fox Vulpes vulpes, Himalayan weasel Mustela siberica, and Himalayan yellow-throated marten Martes flavigula, Himalayan goral Nemor hidiscoral, Himalayan musk deer Moschus leucogaster, Indian chevrotain Moschiola indica, Himalayan thar Hemitragus gemlahicus and Cerocapricornus sumatraensis. The thar is common, the cero, goral, musk deer and barrel, blue sheep are rare. The common leopard Panthera pardus is reported from lower parts of the valley closer to the villages. Local people have also reported evidence of brown bear Ursus arctos and barrel a blue sheep Sued1 A recent faunal survey in October 2004 has established the presence of snow leopard Panthera uncia in the national park. The area is within the West Himalayan endemic bird area, but there have been no surveys specific to the valley. 114 species were seen in 1993 in Nanda Devi Park. Species frequently seen in the valley include Lamiga Gypaetus barbatus, Himalayan vulture Gypes himalayensis, yellow-billed and red-billed choughs Pyrrhicorax graculus and P. Pyrrhicorax cochleus pheasant Puprasia macrolopha. The nationally listed Himalayan monal pheasant Lophophorus pedinus, found in rhododendron thickets, scaly-bellied and yellow-naped woodpeckers Picus squamatus and P. flavinacia, great and blue-throated barbirds Megalomavirans and M. asiatica, snow pigeon Columba leuconota and spotted dove Stigmatopelia chinensis. The area is relatively poor in reptiles. Most often seen of the high-altitude lizard Agama tuberculata, Himalayan ground skink Liolepisma himalayana and Himalayan pitviper Gloideus himalayanus. Along with the flowers are wild bees and many species of butterfly which need to be more researched. A few of the more evident species are lime butterfly Papilio demolius, common yellow swallowtail Papilio macaun, common Mormon Papilio polites Romulus, spangle Papilio protona and common blue Apollo Parnassus hardwicke. Flora. The flora was surveyed and inventoried in 1987 by the Botanical Survey of India, in 1992 by the Forest Research Institute and in 1997 by the Wildlife Institute of India, which found 5 species new to science. A research nursery and seed rhizome tuber bank for propagating rare plants and valuable medicinal herbs has been created at Musada near the entrance of the site. Rare and valuable medicinal plants are the subject of special programs. These include Aconitum heterophyllum, A. falconeri, Arnebia benthami, Dactyloryza hatageria, Gymnodenia orchides, Megacarpia polyandra, Picoriza kuroa, Podophyllum Haxandrum and Taxus wallachiana. Research plots have been set up to determine the best way to control the spread of the tall Himalayan knotweed Polygonum polystachyrum without damaging other plants of the surface of the soil. A first annual survey was conducted in 2004 and will be repeated annually. Flowers mostly orchids, poppies, primulas, marigold, daisies and anemones carpet the ground. Subalpine forests of birch and rhododendron cover parts of the park's area. A decade-long study of Professor C.P. Kala from 1993 onwards concludes that the Valley of Flowers endows with 520 species of higher plants. Of these, 498 are flowering plants. The park has many species of medicinal plants including Dactylorhiza hatageria, Picoriza curoa, Aconitum violicium, Polygonatum multiflorum, Fritillaria royali and Podiphyllum hexandrum.